All right, time to move on to some business news now. Fiona Anderson is with us from Business Vancouver. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
And this is an interesting thought. Everyone gets a guaranteed wage.
That's right. It is an interesting thought. It's okay. We know 2015 is an election year. We may not know the exact date yet, but one of the issues will likely be income inequality. The federal Liberals at their convention talked about they didn't talk about actually having a guaranteed income, but they did actually support a resolution favoring a basic annual income for everybody. So what exactly is a guaranteed income? And this is coming up from a report that the Fraser Institute released this morning. In its most simplest, it's just every Canadian is entitled to a minimum amount of money. Now, we sort of get that through all our transfer programs, or we get something like that. But why would that be easier? Well, let's just take a look at what kind of programs we have now. We have, these are the biggest federal programs. There's the Old Age Security, there's the Canada Pension Plan, and these are the employment insurance, the child tax benefit, the universal child care benefit. All of these are this is just a drop in the bucket. And all of them have different criteria, different groups managing them, different levels of difficulty in managing them. For example, the universal child care benefit, anybody with a child under 6 is entitled to the benefit. So that's an easy one. Doesn't matter how much money you have or anything, but the other ones are a little more difficult to manage. On top of these kind of programs, we have all these tax benefits, like tax credits, like the GST, HST tax credit, the age credit. I'm just mentioning like really a drop in the bucket. Child tax credit, income splitting, all these ways of trying to get more money to those with less income. And these are just federal. We've also got provincial. We've also got municipal. We've got social housing, things like that. So you can imagine with this myriad of programs how expensive it would be to implement them. Now, the Fraser Institute didn't do that number crunching. They just said it's obviously large. And if we just had one body, one administrative body, just saying everyone's entitled to X dollars, that would be so much more, so much simpler that they can't help but be cheaper. So are we going to go to it? Or is the Fraser Institute suggesting that we should do this? Well, no. They said it's probably too hard to implement. One, how do we figure out how much money is the right level? Do we make it different levels across the country? Does somebody in Windsor get the same amount of money as someone in Vancouver, where there's a higher cost of living? And the amount itself might be too expensive. For example, Switzerland is just actually having a referendum on whether they're going to have a guaranteed annual income, and they're looking at $37,000 per person. And so that actually can add up to a lot. But our programs do add up to a lot as it is. So it's kind of hard to say whether it would be more or less. One of the downsides, is there a disincentive to working if you know you have a guaranteed annual income? Yes, there's no doubt about that. But the Fraser Institute says, well, maybe that's no worse than our current tax credits and our current welfare programs. There's the disincentive that's attached to that, too. So while it's an interesting concept, a guaranteed annual income, Fraser Institute says it's probably not going to happen, probably too hard, but it's worth talking about.
Okay, thanks very much for that. If you want more details, go to BIV.com. All right, let's move over to traffic now, and here's Sonia Bieksma.